Yeah. All right, so apparently we're live now.
Yeah. And the answer to the very first question, it was a draw.
I assume you mean of your legendary battle with Maui.
Yeah.
Hello.
Right, so I'm just going to call the chat up on my phone. Not call them up as in telephone.
Hello, everyone on the internet. Gemma, are you checking chats or just complaining?
I'll check the chat because I think Gemma's going to pull the stories up on her phone.
Yeah.
Like, Oblivion's way too distracting.
That's why I said you should play something else, but nobody fucking listens to me.
I was just finishing this quest that I was doing.
It's important, otherwise, if you say beforehand.
I'm enjoying my game.
You're not allowed to enjoy things. You're a woman.
Right. I've got one of them.
All right, that's fantastic.
They are being heard, right?
Yeah, people can hear us. I think people are. People seem very happy that you're back.
I didn't die.
Yeah, he didn't die. So that's. I mean, it's a relief
because it would have been really awkward. Like us, welcome to Bad CREEPYPASTA. Matt can't be here because he's dead.
Yeah, it just
every week.
Yeah, I think people would have got bored of it because what people seem to enjoy is the way it's a different excuse every time. But if we'd have been like, oh, Matt can't come in, he's dead. Because I mean,
we'll just get the same explanation every time. Like, why can't Toby be dead this week? Bring Matt back.
That's pretty much how it went down.
Yeah.
Some guy was trying to be funny on the Facebook page. He was like, "Oh, did Matt go to hospital because he drank ketchup?" I'm like, "No, he was in a fucking coma. What the hell is wrong with you?"
Just make him feel bad. Good.
I'm just throwing my phone on the floor. Don't need it. Don't need a phone.
Yeah.
Who needs
phones? Your phone is surprisingly heavy. That actually hurt my foot, but then I've actually got a bruise on it. Not from the phone.
That's because that time he threw you down the stairs.
Yeah, that time. When you trapped my foot under the door and then banged it for about 5 minutes.
And then slapped her because she didn't get you your dinner on time. Jacob is incredibly sexist.
What are you talking about?
No.
You know what? It's just like in the middle of a conversation, just downing a beer. Have you heard? I have a drinking problem. Seriously, Gemma, fucking turn this off.
I will. I've just finished doing what I was doing, and now I'm going to turn it off.
So, don't worry, Vince 12. Matt is not going to usurp your role as my fattest friend anytime soon. The man has lost a lot of weight. It'll happen when you basically can't eat.
And is in a coma for a while.
Yeah. And then when you come out, they're like, yeah, you need to change your diet. So, yeah, he's fairly thin, pretty normal sized.
So I can start fat shaming people now without it being ironic.
Yeah.
Anytime I hear fat shame, I just think of that Fatitude trailer we saw, was it years back?
What's that?
Fatitude, remember that?
Oh, yeah, Fatitude. Fuck, I forgot about that. Okay, so APD is asking the important questions. Would you guys end the show if Matt was to die?
Fuck no, you wouldn't.
Probably not.
You just get a replacement Matt.
Yeah, just buy another one.
Yeah.
Just need a new fat guy. Already, he's not fat anymore, so I'm kind of upset. I think we should fatten him up.
Just buy him a cake.
To be fair, the fan art usually slims you down anyway, so it kind of matches.
It's always any internet personality is in fact have you all those pictures of JonTron and stuff like that?
Yeah.
But I do like those ones where it's like a eagle raptor when they just give him a massively fat chin.
It's more realistic that way.
Just one really unfatting picture with his fat neck and just
Yeah, Matt, you've now gained thin privilege. All you had to do was almost die to get it. Truly a privilege.
Yeah.
And have a chunk of my leg carved off.
Oh yeah, you guys should see this scar. It's like, I mean, I don't often throw around the word gnarly. All right, I don't like to overuse it, but this thing is gnarly as fuck.
Yeah, funny thing is, it wasn't actually from the reason I was into hospital. I was walking my way back, handsomely as I was, when suddenly out from the alley jumped a shark with 2 knives. So clearly had a fight to the death with the shark, killed it, rode its body back home, its dead body, like a surfboard, but I had this massive gash in my leg. And another one. True story. I heard it on the internet.
It's pretty gross. Should we do some creepypastas?
Yep. The story about Matt's gross leg. Coming soon. Whatever happened to that one? Because I was on the show and talked about, and it's the one where I had a stand. I was fighting Maui's evil Nazi. Like some guy was putting it in on the
in the chat.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but I think we are I think somebody. If it's up on the Trollpasta wiki or whatever, we'll make sure to actually do a video of reading it.
What are you playing now? Why the fuck are you playing Dante's Inferno?
I like it.
Is it a trash fire?
No, it's amazing. You get to kill the Saracens at the beginning.
I just remember playing the demo and thinking, wow, this is God of War.
It is God of War.
And I don't know if they changed it, but you start off by mowing down thousands of Saracens, or basically, and then just one just walks up behind you, shanks you in the back, and then runs off.
Yep.
And then you murder death because you're the first person to think of that.
Yeah, I think this is where I am.
Featuring Dante from the Divine Comedy series.
I just remember the other thing I remember about this was the advertisement around it was utter garbage, or
the anime for it is garbage.
No, the advertisement was like, oh, tell us something sinful you did, like the 7 deadly sins, and then you can win a date and a free copy of this game. And it's like, well, I murdered my son.
Yeah, he just said it was I fucked a bunch of kids. And they're like, sorry, James Gunn, we don't. That's not what we meant. Too soon?
No, not soon enough. What was the other fucking?
Do you want to? All right, let's have a look at this. Okay, so
I remember another thing that reminds me of Dante's.
We're never gonna get this done.
No, yeah, but you'll like this because it's a Shadow Man thing. One of the advertisement was I think it was Shadow Man. It was name your it's if you have a dead child, that hasn't been given a name yet, can you name our main character after your dead child? And that was part of the PR for the game.
I've never heard of this, and I know a fair bit about Shadow Man, so I'm going to say it was probably a different game.
Possibly. But if not, it's an interesting story. If not a truthful one.
Although I do know for Shadow Man 2, they did they went around putting the adverts up in actual on actual graves.
Yes.
Which is pretty fucking insensitive.
Yeah.
Let's look at this.
Oh yeah, it definitely wasn't here. Wow.
Name your baby Torok.
In all fairness, Shadow Man 2 is fucking garbage anyway, so no big loss. It was sequels where they just changed everything. All right, this story is called Bananas in Pajamas. Stop.
So everything you need to know.
It was a pretty regular day. I was just channel surfing and came across a Bananas in Pajamas episode. It was just beginning. I remember watching it when I was a toddler, so I decided to watch a bit.
Because I had nothing better to do.
The episode was called Stop. When it began, there was just a bathroom with the taps left on and water was flooding onto the floor. To the left was a folding chair with one of the bananas in it. He was reading a story called Stop. There was nothing telling you which banana it was. He just kept saying, stop, stop.
Title drop.
Stop. At this point, I was slightly creeped out. But I kept watching. Then he said, tell the others to stop. I can't remember how the Bananas in Pajamas speak.
So apparently Ugandan warlords.
At this point, I was slightly creeped out. But I kept watching. Stop what? I kept asking myself. And suddenly, he replied, which almost gave me a heart attack. Stop stealing. I was too stunned to speak when it said, stealing my soul, your soul, our souls. Suddenly, a second banana.
Toby.
Suddenly,
Toby/Luigi.
Suddenly, Toby Mitchell came out with a violin and started playing his creepy tune. The
Bananas in Pajamas.
The taps mysteriously turned off. You couldn't tell which banana he was either. He pointed at me and said, why? Suddenly, the TV practically exploded like a firework. Nothing got burned, luckily, but the doors were now locked. In my living room, I tried to open them, but they wouldn't.
Toby's dead.
Suddenly, I blacked out. When I woke up, the windows of the living room were boarded up with wooden planks. I tried to remove them, but it was impossible. When I turned around the corner of my living room, was 2 bottles of water, a gun, and a note. The note read, "You are being punished. Marooned. If you want to survive, use the water. If you don't, use the gun." I eventually managed to escape, and when I did, there was another note. "Tell no one if you value your life. I expect they are coming soon, but I had to tell my story." What the fuck?
Okay, so apparently the Matt versus Maui fight is on Reddit.
Right, I'll grab that for us then.
This is the most accurate, game to story fiction ever done.
I know, right?
The only thing only thing I can remember about this game was Yahtzee's review referring to it as the original, story of Dante's Inferno as the world's first self-insert fan fiction.
It is quite, isn't it?
But I don't think I actually read the Dante's Inferno.
I have the entire copy down there with pictures and stuff.
I've got Paradise Lost on audiobook somewhere.
Paradise Lost is good as well. I've got it over there somewhere. It's full of notes because I did like an essay on it.
Okay.
I was likening. I had to liken. I was really proud of my essay.
I prefer the
Someone
movie.
pass me the Zaid. I cannot reach my favourite Zaid.
I prefer the movie adaptation of Paradise Lost.
Thanks, Cripple.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh yes.
Has anyone watched Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure recently? Like the very end of it, when they bring all those historical figures to like
Yeah, you would never pass your history report with that. It's fucking garbage.
Yeah. Also like Genghis Khan was a gnarly dude or something like that. Hasn't he raped so many people?
Yeah, just a cut to footage of messengers being burned alive.
It's just more Genghis Khan.
Matt woke up in the hospital. He looked at the burning city. He knew that the royal family had been killed. Into vampires Nazi by Maui and his Nazi army. Then Star Platinum grabbed Matt's ass, and Matt flexed and exposed his greasy muscles through his ripper sweaty coma shirt. Matt handcocked to Jacob, who was handcocking Toby's dad in a different way. Toby was giving his stand mad fatties in the background. Gemma whipping everyone verbally. Logan was at quickscoping school, so he won't be in the story.
You need to tell him that, like, Logan, where are you at quickscoping school?
Fucking hell. Right, so I think Toby's fucking his own dad here. "Gentlemen, we must fight Maui and his Nazi vampires," said Toby as his mastodon cock ejaculated inside the old man's mouth while Jacob split his ass open.
What?
What the fuck is this? "We have to make a plan of attack," said Matt, flexing his macho husbando muscles. "Wrong. We must fight to declare which of us is the stronger macho husbando," announced Jacob before he punched Matt through the wall of the house. Jacob looks like he does in the Bad Creepypasta Pokemon Dead Channel Part 2 thumbnail. And nobody wants to hear about me fighting Matt. They want to hear about Matt fighting Maui. Matt got up, picked up a tea kettle and splashed Jacob's face with scalding tea. Why would the tea already be in the kettle? Why is that something I take issue with? Matt
Nothing else. Not Toby,
Toby face raping his own father.
Which he doesn't do. We do it for him.
Yeah, he doesn't need to. He was getting it on with Mum. That's Dad's job. Fucking terrible.
Yeah, didn't you take that out of the... There's missing lines from the Silent Sonia...
I'm pretty sure that... No, I left that in.
Did you?
That's Dad's job thing. Yeah, because it was just so unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, they cut out the bit where it's like... You make it sound like...
The joke you made about him cleaning the gutters.
Yeah.
I was
like, you make it sound like it's like a chore, like cleaning the gutters. And there's just a beat of silence and us bursting into laughter.
It's like, no.
I was like, oh, man, Jacob, you got to keep that in. I was like, no.
But it's all right, now everyone's heard it. So that's
it's about the bit you really found disgusting was the bit where it goes, oh, it's all full of leaves and dirt.
Matt then smashed the tea kettle over Jacob's head as the two macho husbandos locked fists trying to make their opponent lose their footing. Gemma looked at them, two huge muscular men sweating hyper-realistic sweat. She wanted to tell Jacob that she secretly loved Toby, but she didn't know that Jacob had actually fallen in love with Toby's dad. You see, Toby's dad was the only thing macho enough to handle Jacob's Big Ben.
What?
Jacob kneed Matt into space, but when he means my penis. Jacob kneed Matt into space.
It's actually the clock you got on you.
Oh,
Did you replace your Overwatch?
Yeah, no, I sliced my dick off and replaced it with... It was like in Legend of the Overfiend, you know? I can't believe this is the reference I'm making. Where he cuts his own dick off and replaces it with like a monster tentacle and gets superpowers.
Because that's how they'll... Do it at home, kids. It's totally worth it.
Yeah, I'll give you a monster tentacle.
Also, you released Mal, you asshole.
You released Mal, you asshole. Fucking incredible. So yeah, basically I chopped my dick off and stuck a clock down there.
As you do.
When Jacob kneed Matt into space, but when Jacob flew up to continue fighting him, Matt kicked him straight down through Uranus. In one final act of desperation, Jacob grabbed Pluto and threw the celestial dwarf planet at Matt. Matt dodged it and kicked it so hard it flew around the sun and hit Jacob. Jacob fell back to Earth, and Matt floated beside him, saying, "Now who's the second banana?" Once the attack... It was still Toby.
Yeah, it's always going to be Toby.
Once the attack plan was finished and Jacob recovered from his galactic-level ass-whooping, the group finally met up with Dennis, Daddy Uwu Bulge. Dennis was fully garbed in Viking gear and was wielding two battle axes with Mjolnir on his back. He'd got Mjolnir after beating Thor in an arm wrestling competition. He was driving a chariot, and the chariot was being pulled by two giant boar monsters Dennis had raised since they were piglets. The group arrived in front of the castle full of Nazi vampires. The group kicked the drawbridge down and killed the Nazi zombies. The group began killing the vampires. "Get a taste of this Scandinavian greatness," shouted Daddy Dennis as he crushed a minion's skull between his thighs. Gemma tried fighting, but she got banished to the Shadow Realm because she said Godzilla 1998 was a bad movie. It is.
It is a bad movie.
Toby got sold into white slavery along with his stand, which is just a fleshlight with his dad's face on it. Toby's not into fucking his own dad, guys.
Don't make it weird. It's a real turn off while we're ploughing him.
I feel of everything, that's the one thing I have the biggest problem with in this story.
There's no room for Toby.
Matt and Star Platinum were punching bad guys so hard they didn't explode. They just disintegrated into hyper-realistic dust as Dennis kept crushing heads like sparrow eggs between his thighs. Jacob had sacrificed some Nazi vampires to summon the Toffee Crisp vampire. The Toffee Crisp vampire ate all the minions until it ate a suicide bomber, at which point it died because the suicide bomber exploded inside it. After the minions were all dead, Maui stood up and shouted, "I don't appreciate what you said about my mum." Maui tried to punch Matt, but Matt had absorbed Star Platinum and punched Maui's hand with the force of 3 quintillion bursting stars. The force of the punch caused Maui's hand to disintegrate. "I'm going to punch until you're whiter than fish." Maui realized his mistake. He realized that Matt was in fact the Toppler reincarnated. Matt teleported behind Maui and said, "Dare demo koreo hon..." Oh, this is Japanese, which I cannot even begin to try and pronounce. Suruto Toripuri gay, I don't know. And just like that, Maui vanished. He said some old weeb shit, and Maui vanished.
Speak.
The group had arrived back at Jacob's house, still with the hole in it from Jacob and Matt's macho tussle. Dennis ascended to Valhalla like all the great Vikings. Jacob had promised to Toby's dad and was going to propose to him next week. And Gemma will remain in the Shadow Realm until she takes back what she said about Godzilla.
I'll never take
it back.
It's fucking garbage. Toby remained in white slavery for a decade until Matt purchased him to be Star Platinum's pleasure slave. And finally, Matt was free to sit on his throne as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air at the end. There's fucking no excuse for that, is there? Jesus Christ, mate. What?
Well, there's no excuse because it all happened. True story.
It looks like I'm remaining in the Shadow Realm because I'll never take back the fact.
Oh, thank you so much, Deplorability. $14.88.
Yeah, that story is worth that much.
Very much appreciate. Here's some Pulitzer Prize winning material. Poop whistle. My goodness. There's a that was real fucking gay. Look, like, and not in a good way, not in like a good He-Man way, in like a
good wholesome He-Man way,
in like a bad Hitalia kind of way,
where they have to eat the guy.
By the way, has anyone seen the preview of the new She-Ra cartoon?
Nope.
That was fucking bad.
It looks terrible.
She looks really androgynous instead of beautiful.
Oh, because you can't have a pretty woman.
No, it's a bad role model. Girls can't be pretty.
Have you? What was that? Was it you who told me like the was it the new Thundercats cartoon? Where it just looks like, hey, you know, Teen Titans, go. Let's do that, but worse. Let's make that. Let's make that look super
it looks
bad.
like Steven Universe. Like I called the Steven Universe art style Cal Arts the other day, and someone went, "Oh, checkmate, the lady who makes Steven Universe didn't go to Cal Arts." Like, I'm like, who cares? It's still that fucking shitty noodle-armed, big eyes style. Yes, thank you for that story. As profoundly homosexual as it was.
Not the gayest thing we've ever read.
Reading that was not the gayest thing we've ever done either. But
we all did that one time where we all just got together, oiled ourselves up, and watched Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah.
let's not.
That's not. I don't want to remember that.
Yeah, let's
so let's go down like
we can't take back.
So the three gayest things in the entire universe, without a doubt, are at number 3, gay people having gay sex. Second of all, the volleyball scene from Top Gun. And number 1 is all of Too Fast, Too Furious.
Probably going to be going on for about another hour, I expect. Well, yeah. So we'll wrap up at sort of 5:05.
Per wrap up.
Ray, Steven Universe is fucking cancer.
What is?
Jacob doesn't like Steven Universe. I haven't watched it.
Yeah. I saw a bit of it on the plane once, and that was it for me. So.
You were hooked.
No.
You're dressed like him right now.
No, I'm wearing a really cool T-shirt, by the way.
The only thing I've actually ever really seen of Steven Universe was as a YouTube poop of it, and just like random things like Steven. It was like Steven and Christian Western Chandler and Satan and Mustard and the Stevens and Steven. And then it's just like I think the guy who's Steven Universe's dad goes like, "Hey kid," I was like, "Hey boy, watch this," and he like bends over and they edit so it looks like he's sucking his own dick. Like, oh, that's funny. Oh god, oh.
Thank you very much for the £5, some English book. But surpassing all three is the pure gayness of Jeff the Killer's 2015 edition. One of the things I want to do actually soon is I want to talk. I've been recently contacted by a guy who was one of the judges on the Jeff the Killer rewrite competition. And apparently there was a lot of sort of drama involved, and there was supposedly the competition was kind of rigged. So I'm quite interested in chatting to him over Skype over the next couple of days and figuring all that business out. So if you guys think that would be an interesting subject for a video, let me know. And if not, I probably won't do it. But I'll talk to him for my own interest, but I won't make a video about it.
Speaking of the gay stuff we have read, do you remember that time where we actually read? It was like was it Slender Man and Jeff the Killer actually having sex? Like we never recorded it, but it's just like because I remember.
We just read that for pleasure. Yeah, that was all for Jacob and Matt.
Because I just remember it being like, this person has clearly never actually seen real porn and just gets it all from Animo. It's like, oh, and Jeff stuck his like monster.
I remember it was like Jeff ejaculated and then inserted his penis. Like, no, that's not how that works. You don't.
No, he like had like 4 like they had sex like 4 times in a row.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. It's like, no, you need to wait a little bit.
It's like, there's kind of a recharge period here, guys. Like, come on. It's just,
I believe it's called a refraction period. Like, do you like have you ever had a wank yourself?
I imagine it was probably written by like a 13-year-old girl who was really fat, and you know.
You have a point. It's like gay porn with like two. Not
Gay
wanting
porn
to
written by someone who's
stereotype,
never
but
seen a naked male.
yeah, not wanting to
Except their
stereotype,
uncle.
but you can't not.
Yeah.
Did you just kill Pontius Pilate?
Yep. I'm playing Dante's Inferno. If people, and I didn't just do that. Like
Just go back in time. Just like,
yeah.
this is why, like, I'm gonna kill you because everyone blames the Jews, but it was you.
All right, so we got another story here. It's a sister for Jeff. It's called.
I'm glad Toby's not here. Pass me your phone. I won't read them. I'll act like I'm reading them.
Hello. Thank God I got this computer.
No, we're not
working.
reading Boku no Pico.
Yellow. Okay. I think it's supposed to be Jillian, but it's spelled Jylien.
Jolien.
That's just weird.
You can call me JJ. Okay.
Abrams.
But just don't call me Ray J. You all know the creepypasta about Jeff. You all know the creepypasta about Jeff the Killer, right? Well, he has a sister. Now I know what you're thinking. Didn't Jeff only have a brother and killed him? That's the voice I think in. Well, yes, but let me explain the backstory. Hello, is this the orphanage? A calm voice said. Yes, who is this? This is Margaret, a mother of 2 sons, and I would like to make an adoption. All right. Would you like to come over?
How you start
What?
That's not just how you start a conversation. Hello.
That would be
I have 2 kids.
lovely. A couple days later, Margaret came and looked over the children. So which one do you want? One of the fat ones that looks tasty, healthy.
But is the guy at the orphanage just the child catcher from Chi Chi Bang Bang?
Lollipops. Get your lollipops.
If this was made today, this would be a lot more sinister. And it's already pretty fucking sinister.
They'd probably lose the nose if it was made today, though.
Yes.
O-E, Chi Chi Bang Bang, Chi Chi Bang Bang.
And,
Fuck you, Toby.
No, I'm not.
I'm not
going to
Tell me what you're going to say.
No, because then we have the next Cactus of the Guardians.
Immediately. I was just literally saying, like, they couldn't shoot the child catcher now because the guy playing him is busy directing the next Guardians of the Galaxy. That wasn't the joke I was making. That's actually better than the one I was thinking.
Yes.
It was just going to be a joke about Islamic grooming gangs.
Didn't Jeff only have a brother that he killed him? Yes, fades away.
So Fade to Black, a film by Werner Herzog. That was an interesting creepypasta.
Really makes you think. I'm glad this is over. You could say it moved me to a bigger house.
So, why do you want another child, Margaret? Well, she replied, I want to have a daughter. So there'll be someone in my house whose hand can fit inside of a Pringle can. So there'll be another girl I could take care of. May I see the children?
You're making like the woman sound creepier than the child catcher.
Margaret scanned her eyes across the crowd of children, then came across me, a small 1-year-old. I was 1, but I remember this conversation like it was yesterday.
Me, a small 1-year-old. Me, an intellectual.
So you, a pleb. Me, a small 1-year-old. Photographic memory.
Got his baby memories.
Aside from a huge 1-year-old. Do they mean small for a 1-year-old? I don't know. With blonde hair and green eyes. I have an idea, Margaret said happily. How about in 11 years, when she is 13, I'll take her and take care of her like a postponed adoption. That's not how that works, said the person at the orphanage. They're not even in the system anymore when they reach that age. They get passed on to So foster care.
Like, no, that's not how this works. Like, oh, can I come back when when one of them discovers the cure for cancer, so I can just ride their coattails?
Yeah, it's like, can I come back when the formative years are over and basically I'll have no real impact on them? And
Where it'd just be awkward, and I'm just like they're just some stranger who's living in my house, and we don't really have any connection.
But it'll be cool because I don't have to deal with like all the problems they're gonna have as kids. Fucking dumb.
Can you open up your phone again? Isn't repeating buttons to get something done great? Tap that button.
I've lost who we are. That's a fantastic idea.
Said no one in the history of childcare ever.
Said my caretaker. I like to think it was the caretaker as in the janitor. Just like, yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, I just clean the sick up and everything, but like, I'm no authority.
No. It would be like, pardon, señorita. Speak English. Espanol.
I'm getting distracted. Gemma's playing this game called Dante's Inferno. I'm just getting distracted by how incredibly manly everything is.
He's
I
was told to stop playing Oblivion because it was too distracting. And
to be fair, this is mostly just like hack and slash, like fluff.
You're only getting distracted because it's a cutscene where he's talking to the giant head.
Yeah. And the actual gameplay is just fluff.
Yeah.
But
no, well, not fluff. It's God of War. That's what it's called. It's just God of War with a scythe in hell.
Ah.
Now, before I go on, you now might wonder, how do I remember this? Now, before I go on, you might wonder, how do I remember this? I was a baby.
Is someone taking the piss? Is this a real thing?
Well, my caretaker explained this when I was 6. I waited 6.5 years, and when the day before my birthday came, I ready. Oh my God, this is so much reference.
Oh no!
I was well taught and very well at self-defense.
Very well at self-defense.
Had lots of belts in fighting.
One of my caretakers drove me to my new home. My bag contained a bottle of water, a book, teddy bear, and a Game Boy SP I got for my 11th birthday. Having Pokemon Fire Red. I think it's supposed to be Fire Red.
Furry Red.
Many hours passed, and we arrived a mile away from the address. Here's the address, Jillian. It was a pleasure taking care of you. Have fun with your new family. Remember, your brothers are going to be adults now. Don't like where this is going already. All right. Thanks for watching over me. I don't know what voice to give the girl.
That but a girl.
Gemma, you read the girl's dialogue as Jeff the Killer.
The girl. Where?
So, all right. Thanks for.
So as Jeff the Killer.
Yeah, but obviously.
All right, thanks for watching me over the years.
What is that? How's that Jeff the Killer?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. All right, thanks for watching me over the years.
There you go. That's female Jeff the Killer voice. What the fuck else do you want? I hugged her and continued. After what seemed like forever, I made it to the address.
Yeah, so okay.
A new family for me birthday.
Stop talking, because like he said, he parked a mile away. What a cunt! Well, I've driven you most of the way. Walk now, Orphy. You want those parents? You'll work for it. You want love and affection? Get moving.
Like, well, it's still better than grinding. Basically making bread and working on a big mill. I'm implying that it was a workhouse. It's just I have the image in my head, but I can't really articulate it.
Oh, did we also mention it took place in the 1800s? And her best friend was the clown. God, that story was dog shit.
I opened the door, which was strangely unlocked.
Hello?
No answer. Maybe they went out. I explored and saw some red liquid upstairs.
It was jam.
Maybe they spilled some liquid.
Oh God, am I
Liquid snake.
stupid?
Yes, you are. Also, someone else pointed out, like, remember when this happened? Like, she was 1 at the time. Oh, I'll pick her up in like, what was it?
Yeah.
It's like 6 years later or something, wasn't it?
It's just like I'll pick her up when she's 13,
Didn't pick her up.
and then it said like six
6 years later.
and now she's 11. I'm so
It's
confused.
as bad as, like, do you remember fucking Silent Sonia? Where it's like,
Sonia, where the girl's age was consistent, but the brother's wasn't.
yeah. So it's like oh, her 7-year-old brother who was also 2, who was now 17.
Finally, I saw a human being sleeping on the couch. Yeah, Gemma, you might as well pause while we read this one.
All right, it's fine. All right. Maybe I should say hi to the neighborhood.
I quickly saw that everything was abandoned, so I headed back to the house. I checked the house again, and the man was awake.
Hello, I'm Jai.
I stopped. He stared at me. But those eyes, those fucking eyes, they were white, with a heavy black outline. He had a bloody smile, but the worst part other than his eyes was his skin on his face, leathery and white.
Holy shit! What the fuck?
I screamed, crawling backwards.
I
may be asking you, as he said, in a psychotic and raspy voice. Who the fuck are you?
Hi, I'm Jillian. Are you my brother?
He laughed. I don't have a sister. I explained to him, trying not to faint, what happened at the orphanage.
That's a retarded story. That is unrealistic. Look at my fish face.
What a cute little story, Jillian. I'm afraid this family reunion's over. The re doesn't really work there. I'm Jeff, as he pulled out a knife with dry blood on it. Get ready to die, Jillian.
You're fucking insane.
I screamed.
It's like we found someone who's edgier than fucking Jeff.
Like I haven't heard that before.
I
realized.
Did you kill our mother, father, and brother?
I said, staring into those fucking eyes. Lucky guess, as he lunged at me.
No, you killed Mum, who I met once when I was 1. I was so invested in her.
Dodged his attack. I ran out the door, screaming and begging for help. But I remember the entire place was abandoned. Maybe because of white Joker here killed them all. As opposed to green and, well, I mean, he has green hair, but green face Joker as he normally is. Like, what the fuck do you mean, white Joker? He was catching up. I tripped over a bottle and fell to the ground. Jeff was right on me. Any last words, sis? He laughed. I sobbed. The only word that came out of my mouth was...
Why?
He just laughed and started doing large stabs.
Doing large stabs?
My screams...
Shut that, someone.
Of agony... Oh, my God. My screams of agony echoed throughout the empty neighborhood. On the final blow, he gave me a huge bloody gash across my left eye, bleeding all over. The last words I heard from him was, well, that was a fun reunion. I was out for 12 hours. I got up, my left eye in pain.
What? How am I'm alive?
I thought. I crawled along the sidewalk and found a good abandoned house. I drank my water and thought to myself,
should I kill him?
Thoughts were going through me.
He is your brother. He a murderer, so if you kill him, God will allow you to live, because he killed so many. If you try to kill him, he will kill you, dumb shit.
My head hurt like if someone slammed a motherfucking hot frying pan. What, on your head or just in general? Like, I feel like that's just like an author's note. Like, someone's hit me with a frying pan.
No, a motherfucking frying pan.
My sanity was low. My mind was gone. You got
a sanity meter.
You got to drink some
eternal darkness.
The risks were high. Stakes were low.
What's the thing you do? Like, you cast runes, don't you, in that game? That to do spells. Like, you have a spell book and you cast runes. It's like a very specific way of doing everything. I don't think it has potion. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I played Eternal Darkness.
Ha 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 ha! He is a fucking genius. He can make all those kills and wouldn't get caught.
I
Why?
slammed my fucking head.
Like, also, how do you know this? Where's this coming from? Like,
I stared at my scar in the mirror.
This makeover is perfect. Ha 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 ha! Best birthday present ever. Ha 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 ha! How can I get close to him? I have to thank the fucker.
What is with this change of heart all of a sudden?
and all the swearing.
Wet blood was all over my body. I dyed the edges of my hair with it. Blonde and dark maroon was perfect. I heard footsteps. I peeked outside. Jeff was dragging a body to his house. Freshly killed. I could barely contain my laughter. I decided to leave him a note, which said the following.
Dear Jeff, this might be the first note you've gotten in a while, so...
I'm sure it's not. It gets a lot of fan mail for some reason.
Who is this, you ask? Well, guess. Just guess. I'm still alive. Ha ha ha. Yes, it's Jillian.
You chinky.
Jillian. Don't worry, bro. I'm not out for revenge. I just want to thank you for the beauty you gave me. It's my look. I don't want to look for too much trouble, but I just want to say thanks for the best fucking birthday of my life.
Thanks for the memories.
Well, good luck killing, bro.
And then
Jillian,
Jeff breaks into "You're welcome."
Sister. I'm not sure if you got
no
it
excuse
yet,
for that, is there?
but I'm as happy as hell. Thanks for reading this, viewer. Have a good dreams tonight. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha.
That may be one of the worst we've read in a good long while.
Yeah, that was
atrocious, self-serving, self-insert horse crap of the highest caliber.
Yeah, that was
Jesus.
upsettingly bad.
But it's like the most forced. I want to be a part of this universe. Like,
that's what I don't get about these people. Like, write your own shit. Like, oh man, I love to. Why bolt yourself onto something that, one, that isn't even good, but two, like, even if it was good, like, have more faith in yourself. You know, write your own thing. Even if it sucks, you know, it's a lot more creative than just going like, or, you know, what if Matt got really bored and started writing himself into the Marvel movies. Actually, that would be awesome. But you get the point I'm making. Like,
I'll give myself an overpower.
If I just decided, oh, what if, like, you know, in the old Frankenstein movies, there was another scientist who was basically me and was doing all these other... It's fucking shit.
But it's also had Magneto's powers.
Yeah, it's a shit idea.
It is.
And it makes you sound, one, like you're completely in love with yourself.
Like it makes you sound like an utter tool.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's pathetic.
You can do a good self-insert, but not this.
No,
not this is literally like oh, it's going to be like, oh, this is an original character in name only. Secretly, it's what I want to be, and
it's a power fantasy.
Yeah. Also, this is like, I want to be part of this universe. I'm going to insert myself into this story as a 1-year-old who's going to be like, can I come back and like, I like this one. Polish her up. I'll come back in like 11 years or so.
I kind of wish we'd done that as a fucking episode, that story, because we recorded an episode earlier of 2 stories back to back, and it was funny, sure, but Jesus Christ, mate, that story.
You know what? We need to bring, like, when Toby's back, we need to
just
bookmark that. Again. Someone bookmark that.
I will. I know what it's called. So, like, a sister for Jeff. I just found that just by random. I just picked one at random.
This is so sad. Can we legalize Alf Garnett in the state of Georgia? Like, author of Jeff the Killer, please notice me.
Yeah, that is basically that. Notice me, and like they want to be part. Like, you know, like how like fucking you got Jane the Killer, and that's like, oh, it's all like wrapped into the law now and stuff like that.
That's so terrible. Again, like, I think if you're going to do that kind of stuff, you should kind of have an idea when you start. I was having this conversation with my mum yesterday. She came over to visit, and we talked about Universal Monsters
and how much you want to do a self-insert.
And I also want to do a self-insert as another Frankenstein doctor. But I was talking about what you need to do, because one of the things that they keep getting wrong when they try to remake them is, one, they're not doing it as horror. They're trying to do it as action, which doesn't work. But two, they should have a very clear and specific plan before they begin. Heartless Joe, fuck off.
I'm going for a piss. Is that the follow-up to Cotton Eye Joe?
I was like, I feel like that sounds so familiar, Heartless Joe. Have we not tried to read this before?
I'm not. It doesn't sound familiar to me, but it might have been because obviously, like, I've only been sort of here for.
I don't know, but I've been told. Cut now, Joe. I can't remember the fucking lyrics of that song. It's been
if it hadn't
20
been
fucking years.
If it hadn't been for Cotton Eye Joe, I'd be married a long time ago. Where did you come from?
Where did he come from? Where did he go?
Where did he come from? Sharp Hand Joe.
It's the prequel to Cotton Eye Joe. It takes place before he got married a long time ago. Yeah, so somebody mentioned about Iron Man, and I think that's another thing with these expanded universe things like Jeff the Killer. It's okay if it gets more far-fetched as time goes on. Yeah. If you plant the seeds of it, because when you go back and watch that first Iron Man movie, it's very difficult to imagine, because it's quite grounded, even though it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's just about a guy who escapes a bunch of terrorists and then with this metal suit that he makes and fights another guy in a metal suit.
Yeah.
It's hard to picture him, on Titan with Star-Lord and Doctor Strange fighting Thanos when you watch that first Iron Man movie. It feels so far removed from it.
Yeah.
But it's a natural progression that they finally get there. And that's what these guys who, make these shitty stories don't seem to understand. Because you can start with like a really mundane story and slowly introduce those kind of elements. I think there's no hope for something like Jeff the Killer or even even like a creepypasta shared universe sounds like the dumbest thing in the world, but it could work. The problem is most of these people are thoroughly incompetent as writers. And a shared universe doesn't just require you to be a good writer. It requires you to have excellent planning skills. You can't just be a good writer and that's that, and someone who's good at coming up with ideas on the fly. You've got to be very organized and know exactly what you want to do and be working with people who know what you want to do and have a common vision.
Yeah.
But I miss Jacob yelling at something.
Yeah, I was just making fun of creepypasta in general.
Oh, that's really hard to do. It's so well put together and like airtight in terms of story and characters.
Creepypasta Infinity Spook. Yeah, he's got to find the 5 Infinity Skeletons. Fun fact, growing up, Nelson Mandela's favorite toy was Hot Wheels. Fuck me, that's dark. By the way, it was Nelson Mandela Day the other day, and I was just like, straight away on Discord, I was like, let's celebrate it how he would have wanted, by blowing up trains and setting fire to people we don't like. Breaking into families' homes, torturing the men and children, and raping the women.
Yep.
Thank you, Dragon Ball Z fan. I know it's one of the rare things. I assume DBZ stands for Dragon Ball Z. I feel like Jeff is the worst killer of all time, considering all his victims keep coming back. Leave him notes covered in bleach. Everyone. You're right. Like, this keeps happening. Like,
I can't wait until there's going to be Randy the killer.
All the people he murdered in the original story are all going to be... Because, like, he murders his brother, and then his brother just fucking mysteriously comes back.
Parents the killer.
It's like fused into one.
No, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
They don't even have names. There's Jeff's mum the killer and Jeff's dad the killer. Randy and his 2 mates. Was it? Yeah, it was Randy, Keith, and some other one.
I think it'd be quite cool if they actually did do Parents the Killer. It was just like the boss from the Spirit Temple. When they come together and form into one thing.
Yeah.
Or like the Megazord. That's what we need. Creepypasta Megazord. Where all the characters like the Rake and Jeff the Killer all come together. Then they can fight
Voltron.
I've made fun of I've made fun of Zombie the Studios a bunch of times and of Sean and his guys, but they've actually done a fairly decent job of connecting the creepypasta stories in a self-contained. They make little self-contained movies, but they're all connected to each other as well.
Yeah.
But those things we watched that video.
Yeah, they're hilarious, obviously. But
because you were like, oh man, we might actually hurt someone's feelings, and I can see this person's face, so that's bad.
But no, you get what I'm saying though. Like it can be done, is what I'm getting at. So you can make something like Jeff the Killer versus the Rake, and it's
Who's this?
Orpheus.
you could actually pull that off.
Which was Orpheus? Did he escape?
I think he got his wife killed. Eurydice.
Yeah, but I feel he got out. Am I thinking of someone else?
Punisher absolve. Absolve him, maybe. Okay.
Should we do another one? Then I think we've got time to do one more.
Dante's Inferno, the Ruin game.
Better Creepypasta expanded universe. It does kind of happen, like when you.
What would you rather have?
When you guys see the movie, you'll kind of see what we're talking about. How it kind of ties in with Darkland as well. Like the stuff we do kind of connects. It's fun. And again, with the video games kind of not connected, it's just a fun thing because I didn't write it. It's Sean that's written it. But
which expanded universe would you rather have, Creepypasta or the Dark Mummy one?
I think, to be honest, like I'm a huge fan of Universal Monsters, and as shitty as the Mummy is, I'd still go and see more. Because I just love Universal Monsters so much.
Yeah.
You're not looking forward to that Slender Man movie?
But I probably wouldn't pay for them because I don't want to send out the message that this is good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want to get any indication. So that's what you do. If there's a game that you really don't like, buy it, then immediately return it. And I mean, don't like the person you've just taken it from the person, then hand it back and say I'd like a refund, and that will register the refund on the system.
Oh yeah, I've tried reading this one. You guys keep linking in the chat. I'm not going to read that shit.
Which one is it?
It's the one where it's just like butthurt. Like the whole story is just like the whole story is literally like the guys in the Michael White channel are bullies. Like that's the whole story.
Oh god, that
and they
one.
paint Toby as some kind of innocent, even though he's probably the worst one out of all of us. Like Toby's one guy. Maybe we shouldn't be telling kids to kill themselves. I'm like, we don't. And the only time we ever did that, Toby, it was literally you that did it.
Yeah.
So the author basically is some butthurt girl who fancies Toby, so has absolved him, but still hates the show and hates what we do.
Just so you know, that if you ever do meet Toby, you'll be butthurt for a different reason. Sorry, he will fuck you.
But
also, just so you know,
I started reading it. I thought,
ever say anything that's not true. Like this story is dog shit, and from a writing standpoint, it's actually terrible.
Yeah.
You can't go, oh, well, that's just your opinion. It's also fact.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it just the whole story. I tried reading it, and it just made me feel uncomfortable. Not in like it hurt my feelings way, but it was just like I could see how upset, like I could feel like the angry fast typing as I was reading it, like, oh, I'm gonna get those guys, and it just made me cringe. And I thought, wow, you sad loser.
Yeah, that one was definitely something.
Oh, I hope Matt would have died. Like, no, tough shit. I didn't.
It's like you're meant to be like an abusive friend or something.
Yeah, like you and I are painted as being really cruel, and like Toby's this sort of like innocent that's just sort of like not, just too weak to really stand up to us. And like this is
motherfucker. If Toby couldn't, like, we shit on Toby all the time, but he if he couldn't actually take it, we wouldn't do it.
No.
He laughs that shit off.
Or probably be friends with him, to be honest, if he couldn't take the bans.
Yeah.
Like,
Toby's
the one that we always used to rein in. That's what's so funny. Like, I remember on the Snow and Mount Silver video, I'm like, can you please stop calling this woman a bitch? Well, then I'm like, Toby, please stop telling people to kill themselves. But they flip it on its head.
Yeah, we would have been like, how long have we been friends with Toby? Like, you've been friends with Toby longer than I have, and it's like, at least, like, we've been doing this for 5 years. You think if he got tired of it, he would just like, you know what? I'm just gonna ring up the friends and say if they want to come around or anything like that.
So let's send us another one, guys, because I ain't reading that shit.
Oh yeah, Jacob, you gonna
I just haven't got the patience.
All right, I'll have a look and see if there's any.
Or enough tissue to hold up the mess you're making your trousers. It makes you uncomfortable. You got jammy in your hand. Bang.
Helmet boy.
That sounds rude.
Homicidal Leo.
We've done that one
several times. Or we've attempted to, haven't we? And there's always like it's always like weird versions. We can never seem to actually find the proper original.
Like the first time we found Nina the Killer.
Yeah.
How to be an airbender.evi.
Just look at your anticipation. You like Avatar?
I slit my own throat once.
Oh, you had a hole in your fucking throat? Fucking cry me a goddamn river. Pointing at the fucking trap. That was a fucking nightmare. That like a couple of weeks I had that.
Yeah, it was like a trachea thing. It was much more fun in hell.
I was playing Dante's Inferno.
A lot of people are saying triumphs of the toppler.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a little look if you can find that?
Oh yeah.
Gemma, do you want to finish the Zaid?
Yes, please.
You just call it Lucasade like normal people.
No.
Zaid.
Zaid sounds like a teenager from like one of the Power Rangers from like a 90s. Like, I'm Zaid, the Black Ranger.
I knew it would be the Black Ranger as well. It's such a Black Ranger name, isn't it? No, Zaid. And like,
oh my god!
Why have the Power Rangers got secret identities when they call when they've got the helmets on and they're talking to each other? You always get the vibe the monsters can hear them. It's not like it's a radio
That's why they
system.
always kill them.
Yeah, it's not like a radio system where they're like, oh, it's a secret. So why are they just shouting their real fucking names at each other?
So it's like Rita Repulse, like, okay, Kimberly, look for someone wearing pink. They might be like, are you really sure they'd be stupid enough to like someone Kimberly wear pink? There they are.
Like, they're all color coded. Why aren't they
bloody sniper team?
Why aren't they just like, okay, Red Ranger, can you do this for me? Which one's the Red Ranger? You fucking idiot!
Which one? Like
I don't see the Red Ranger around here.
What's the name of the thing? Is something of the toppler?
Triumph of the toppler.
Triumphs.
I just like the idea.
It's about his motorcycle collection.
I like the idea of like Rita Repulsa having like the normal retarded puppies, and then she's got like an elite sniper team.
All right, there's like 4 volumes.
Oh Jesus Christ! Let's read volume 1.
All right, this is the Bloody Painter versus the Toppler.
I can't remember how
I don't know if you can read any story with the Bloody Painter in. I don't want to get slapped with a copyright strike.
I can't remember how much trouble. Like we recorded that like a year and a bit before you even put that up. That was just like.
Yeah, it's true. It was a really old recording that I just kind of found.
Yeah,
because I wasn't even present, was I? I don't think I'm in that video.
You went off and it was just me and Toby, and we just did about 8 different.
Was I picking Logan up from school or something?
I can't remember. I think it might have been or something like that. You're like, all right, I'm off, and it's just me and Toby hanging out for the afternoon. We did 3 different ones because that's the time when because he does that thing at the end where he's talking about that artist. He does those random things like Bela Lugosi as a vampire in Tesco's.
Right, I do not remember any of this.
I do not remember this either, but I know I wasn't in that one.
All right, Triumph of the Toppler, Volume 1. The Bloody Painter versus the Toppler. The Toppler, in need of money, joined up with Ofsted. Because being an Ofsted inspector requires as much effort as buying milk from the corner shop. Well, this was written by a teacher, obviously. On Halloween, he was a bit annoyed because he had to go and inspect a rather odd high school. What made it odd, you don't ask? Well, not only was there unprotected access to the roof, but for some reason it had dorms. Also, a student had managed to die there. The Toppler felt a sense of pride, despite the fact that he was only doing this job for easy money, because this would be the first bust of a school Ofsted had ever done. He decided to snoop around while the students were at a party. It wasn't even a Halloween party, which was rather silly even to the stereotypically stupid toppler. Suddenly he felt a slight tickling sensation on his chest and looked down. He found a bent knife on him and a blood-stained 14-year-old holding it with a look of intense terror on his face. The knife had bent because no one kills the toppler. "Did you do this?" said the toppler calmly. "Well, yeah," replied the boy. "Why?" responded the toppler. "Actually, better question. Why did you confess?" "Because it makes me into a badass. Also, I'm slightly unhinged after I forcibly drove myself slightly mad to make myself look cooler." "Well, that doesn't make you cool or badass, does it?" said the toppler. "It just makes you an asshole." "No one calls Helen unrevealed surname an asshole," cried the boy. With that, the toppler laughed like he was being tickled by 1,000 nuclear explosions, which was possible since no one blows at the toppler. "Stop laughing!" yelled Helen. The toppler responded by punching Helen in the face, shattering his skull and killing him instantly. "Whoops," said the toppler. Then he noticed a tiny, barely noticeable cut on his face. It appeared that Helen was so edgy, he could cut even the nigh invulnerable toppler's skin. Doing the world more favors, he beat up Helen's corpse to rid the world of such an insufferable creature. Was this like written during the like by a fan during like the copyright business? The next day, Ofsted had successfully shut down the school, and there was much rejoicing. Besides Helen, or the bloody painter, as this emo creature had presumably called him, as emo creator had presumably called him, had murdered most of the student body, so there wasn't much point in keeping the place open anyway. Jane the Killer versus the Toppler. After the incident with Helen, Snort, everything else the Toppler did at Ofsted was just boring, even the school full of shape-shifting bat people. So he resigned and got a job at EasyJet as the steward. On one particular flight to Arkansas, a woman asked him for peanuts. When he inquired as to what flavor, the woman Jane responded with, "Jeff's tears." "Who the hell is Jeff?" said the Toppler. "Why, Jeff the Killer, of course," responded Jane. "I'm pretty sure he's lost the ability to cry ages ago anyway," replied the Toppler calmly. "Look, pal," said Jane, pulling out a knife, "give me the damn peanuts." "Well, aren't you the badass Mary Sue?" said the Toppler mockingly. With that, Jane attempted to stab the Toppler in the heart. However, the knife bent against the Toppler's skin since nobody kills the Toppler. So she pulled out her phone and began reading her origin story. The Toppler recoiled in terror. "Ah!" he cried. "It's so awful." "Aha!" yelled Jane. "I have you now." However, to say that, she had stopped reading, giving the Toppler the opportunity to grab Jane by the head, and he dragged her to the door. He opened it and chucked Jane out of the plane, to be saved by her plot shielding. "Sorry about that, folks," said the Toppler as he turned to the passengers. "Anybody want any peanuts?" Eyeless Jack versus the Toppler.
I can't remember anything about Eyeless Jack. I just remember laughing.
I just remember the rap.
Eyeless Jack was 88 people's livers or something like that.
I just remember the rapper was like, "It's Eyeless Jack here. Let's get ready for you, dude." Blah, 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 blah. It's just the worst fucking thing ever.
I remember, I remember that, but I can't bring myself to re-watch that video.
I just remember like how awful, like and unnatural, the flow is on the way he raps. He's like, "There'll be your liver. You will be needing this in your grave. Walking around in the woods at night, you think you're so brave, the Slender Man. You're just so tall." It's fucking unbearable. I remember looking in the comments.
It's not a parody rap or a battle.
I remember reading the comments, people going, "Oh man, Eyeless Jack was the best." I'm like, do you have ears?
Yes. Oh God.
Have you heard rap music before?
This is the trouble. There's too many white people. They should get rid of all of them except
Matt Dixon becomes president of Tumblr.
Yeah.
Goddamn white people and their contributions to classical music.
And the world.
After his battle with Jane the Killer, the Toppler got fired from EasyJet. This meant he had to go seek employment since beating up people nobody likes doesn't exactly pay the gas bill. However, since the employment system is complete bollocks, the only place he could find employment was at Ben & Jerry's. But at least he got free ice cream. One day, a man wearing a hoodie came to the till. He was facing backwards for some odd reason. And I'm over here, mate, said the toppler. All right, said the man who spun around, revealing the blue mask he was wearing. I'll have a kidney-flavoured ice cream, please. What? Said the toppler, confused by the man's asking for this non-existent flavour. I said a kidney-flavoured ice cream, repeated the man. Well, no, said the toppler. That flavour doesn't exist. The man grew cross. No one refuses Eyeless Jack, he cried. And with that, he swung his knife and embedded it deep within a table.
Why is Eyeless Jack now Australian?
I don't know, because I'm just thinking of Lightning Jack.
Don't know what I was expecting from a bloke with no eyes, muttered the toppler as he jumped over the counter and started bashing Eyeless Jack's head in with an ice cream scoop. Eyeless Jack started to cut the toppler's stomach, but he couldn't since nobody eats the toppler. Bugger, said Eyeless Jack as the toppler stuffed him into every ice cream tub that was on the counter. After Jack puked up 17.5 kidneys, the toppler chucked him into the moon, but he quickly suffocated. Just then, the manager came in. You're fired, he said to the toppler. A Laughing Jack versus the toppler. One day, the toppler was sat at home doing absolutely nothing at all because the author was too lazy to come up with anything. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. It was Postman Plot, and he was carrying a rather large box addressed to the toppler. Oh, that's a nice surprise, said the toppler. Who's it from? How the hell should I know? Replied the postman. I'll just deliver the post. You, hang on, you stereotypically stupid individual. Well, that was rude, thought the toppler as he carried the box inside. Are you just going to leave me here? Yelled Postman Plot. Right, sorry, apologized the toppler, shutting the door. He opened the box, expecting an Xbox or something like that. However, instead, out popped the most emo-looking thing the toppler had ever seen in his life. It looked like a clown if it listened to too much MCR. Oh, bother, said the emo clown thingy. Wrong house. Yeah, I thought as much, calmly said the toppler. Hot Topic is that way. Do not mock me, yelled the creature. I am Laughing Jack, a powerful cosmic entity who forgot his original purpose because he was locked in a box for 10 years, and also because his owner went to boarding school and somehow that turned him into Cockney Ed Gein. Cosmic entity, huh? Said the toppler. Well, what are you, god of emo? With that, Laughing Jack leaped at the toppler like a sheave. I don't know what that is. He tried to rip the toppler's heart out, but he couldn't because nobody brutally mutilates the toppler. The toppler wasted no time, so he ripped Jack's ridiculous nose off and stabbed him with it 37 times. While getting stabbed 37 times traditionally kills people, Laughing Jack is a creepypasta character, therefore immensely overpowered. So he just felt a bit sore. Well, he was also missing his nose and had a hole in his chest, but this isn't really what you came to read about. The toppler picked up Jack and carried him outside, and then drop-kicked him all the way back to London, where he landed in the Thames and drowned. And everything was lovely once again. Wonderful. This becomes Michael Rosen.
Nice.
Negative Mickey versus the toppler. One day, the toppler decided to go on vacation for some peace and quiet. So to make sure absolutely no one would bother him, he went to the abandoned theme park Mowgli's Palace. Besides, it's not like anyone could stop him. He is the toppler after all. So off he went. He beat up snakes and ate them for tea the night he arrived. And then he went to investigate the titular palace. Within, he came across a room full of costumes. The toppler picked up a Donald Duck mask in order to put it on, but a skull fell out of it. Thus, he ate the mask in anger. It was then he noticed a negative Mickey Mouse costume. Looks like Disney's been outsourcing to Poundland, thought the toppler. The suit lifted its head off, spraying what seemed to be yellow blood everywhere, though on closer inspection, it turned out to be chicken korma. You've just ruined my jockstrap, roared the toppler, charging at the creature. He shoved its head back on and then slammed it along every last shelf. Then he picked up a snake and rammed it down the creature's throat, causing it to explode and spray chicken korma everywhere. Next year, proclaimed the toppler, I'm going to Portugal. I can't take much more of this, so I'm going to have a look at the chat.
Best stories ever, or best stories ever?
Let me look through the old chat here.
Yoshino!
Jeff the Killer versus the Toppler. That's the last one, but it's quite long.
Oh, that was a complete accident. Still streaming, Logan.
Did these stories topple your mind? No, they did not. Just made me sad. But I apologize for Matt versus Maui. Good, you should apologize.
Who wrote it?
Some guy named Iguana Boy.
Iguana Boy.
But not like boy as in B-O-Y, boy as in Kratos is saying it to his son. Boy.
Just with the disappointment, boy. I will keep alert for this updog. Probably wrap this up now, can't we?
Yeah.
We've read it. We've read a few.
Rap. The Creepypasta rap.
My name is.
My name's Jeff the Killer, and I'm here to say. It's like, what happened? I got stuck trying to think of something that rhymes with here to say. So, kind of left it. Yeah, I can see right through you. You know, you're not scary at all. You may be slender, but I'm the one who's standing tall. That was in there. Anybody remember that?
And now you've just spread cancer to everyone listening to our show.
He's like, you may be slender, but I'm the one who's standing tall. I'm like, oh, fucking die.
Well, now I'm pretty happy that I'm going to be going to Toby's house to look after his daughter.
Yeah, you're just never going to see Gemma again.
Look after his by daughter, do you mean father?
No.
Because if so, I approve.
I think you need to explode them by the door.
Oh, yes, I'm thinking, yeah.
Can you pick them up and slam into the door?
Yes.
Like that?
Yep.
Good thing this Dante fellow is the toughest motherfucker in human history.
Have you thought about doing a series based on Creepypasta Vanliers? And we're kicking around ideas for other shows. I mean, I did the Cult Corner thing, and you know, it did okay. It didn't get that many views, but I am still considering doing more of that.
I liked it.
You know,
I like Cult
it's
Corner.
not exact. It's something I enjoy, but it's hard work to make, and it's much harder to edit to produce and edit than by Creepypasta with way less rewards. So it's something I'll do in my own time.
You see, Jacob, you're known for doing one thing and moderately famous for it. So the moment you try to branch out, you'll fail horribly.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
Everyone else.
Spoonie.
Literally everyone on the internet.
Yeah. I don't know. James Rolfe has done quite well. I mean, he's made like a lot of short films, and he's made a feature film, and they're really cool. I mean, I was a big fan of his Cinemassacre stuff anyway, and he's done all those movie reviews and
the angry video game nerd cinematic universe. You can go up there. We'll do something.
But one of the things we want to do is more movie themes, like a podcast where we set each other like films that we've seen that the other people in the podcast haven't seen. We all have to watch, and then there's like a challenge that gets set like a few days before recording.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have to come up with a movie pitch.
Yes.
There's this very specific movie pitch. Like one of us will set the challenge for that week. We'll be like, okay, you're a movie, you're a film director, and film executive wants this movie. What do you do? How do you make this movie?
Poorly.
And I think it's a cool idea for a show. Like our friend Ayrton has never seen Jaws, so we're going to show that to him probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
And see how he enjoys it. And I'd love to get his immediate reactions to it, but also tempted to record, the following week to get his reaction.
Are you literally fighting a hell baby?
Yep.
Shouldn't that be in purgatory?
We're in limbo. Yeah, because that's like the limbos where like the
I mean, you guys you're talking about stuff
kids.
that nobody in the audience can see.
Well, basically,
Dante's fighting a bunch of babies with like scythe hands.
He's fighting a bunch of unbaptized children.
Yeah, they're supposed to go to purgatory.
No, they go to limbo.
No, purgatory.
No, they go to limbo.
I was always taught it was purgatory.
Are they not the same thing?
They're different things.
Purgatory is more of a thing you would go. It's more of a sort of a thing you go to for.
Yeah, they just dump all the babies.
Yeah, unbaptized babies do go to purgatory though.
I'm sure it was limbo, but like, or
Limbo's like
It
something.
doesn't matter because none of it fucking exists anyway.
yeah.
Well, that's right, because the Pope just like at one point a few years ago was like, yeah, purgatory doesn't exist anymore. So like all those dead babies, they don't exist anymore. They don't have souls. If you want to see a really intellectual discussion, type in Wooly versus God and watch that video.
Oh, Willie, he's that guy from Two Best Friends.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of series just that because he grew up in like an ultra religious house and basically he rejected it all, but it's just him telling funny stories about God and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like as much as there's a whole bunch of scub stuff in the Bible, there's some awesome stuff like Jacob, not this one, the really cool Jacob in the Bible who beats the shit out of an angel to get a blessing.
Just wrap it up now.
That's in the Bible.
Yes.
You don't think that would be in the Bible? Like you want to get some good blessing, find an angel, kick the shit out of it.
All right, thanks for coming, guys.
And on that note,
yeah, and then the
pile drive an angel, get a blessing. It's in the Bible.
Right.
Must be true gospel.
I'm going to say this right now. I'm right. Unbaptized children go to limbo.
okay. I'm literally going just on what the Catholic dad said on Family Guy.
But yeah, do baptize baby. But the Catholic Church say that limbo is a theory developed by medieval theologians, and it's also in Dante's Inferno that they go to limbo.
Oh, truly the most historically accurate.
The book.
I was told in fucking church purgatory.
Oh, well, it's the Catholics think they
Well,
go
the Catholics are wrong.
because the thing is, this whole thing is based on Catholic mythology. I'm right.
That's okay. Other things Catholics are wrong on: birth control,
That's true.
rights of homosexuals.
I know, but I'm going on the fact that in this game they go to limbo.
Well, they're clearly wrong. I think people get confused with purgatory and hell because perdition.
Yeah.
Which is another name for hell.
Punching angel, the most metal term ever. Yeah, punching Nazis is so 2017.
But you said that.
Punching angels is where it's at now.
That was the thing. Was as I was getting a lift down to the station, and on the radio came that song that Punching Nazi was based on, and I hadn't heard Punching Nazi in so long. I was like,
I can't remember what the real song is.
Paparazzi.
Yeah.
And it's like, as the next goes, I've heard this song somewhere before, and I was just at the train station, like, punch a Nazi, that's it, and everyone's just looking at me like, well, I'm not wrong. Punch a Nazi.
That's a jam.
Mm-hmm.
Punch a Nazi is a great song.
You go back in time and sing it in front of Hitler.
I thought about as I didn't have I don't know how to play it, nor did I have an acoustic guitar with him, but I went past this really embarrassing like Trump protest in Canterbury. It was like the oldest, whitest group of people I've ever seen. I've never seen a less ethnically diverse group protesting someone they call a racist. Anyway, I wanted to start jamming like Punch a Nazi and like the Trump Dimension, all these other things. I was like, I don't know.
Trump what?
The Trump Dimension. Right, we'll
sounds
play that when we're done.
Is it like Dogskate, but everything's Trump?
Yeah. I wish I was that smart. You see, that's the Trump Dimension.
Type in Dogscape and just enjoy that.
It's Trump. The plan of Trump.
And thus, by extension, Trump.
Someone just mentioned the Trump baby balloon. Fuck, do you remember when it was in development and everyone was calling it the Trump blimp? That changed quickly, didn't it?
Who's this again?
Electra. Trump blimp, yeah.
I don't actually know who Electra is.
It's the Trump blimp. And I'm like, yeah, no one called it a blimp when it came out. Zeppelin.
Yeah, what'd she do?
Killed her mother.
Oh my god, nobody can fucking see this shit.
I don't give a fuck about them. I'm not getting money from them.
Neither am I. No one's fucking donating anything. Not for a while, anyway.
Killed her mother.
Love you guys. I don't care whether you donate money or not. I just enjoy doing these streams. You know, don't be like, oh, fucking Jacob only cares about money, because people really do take that kind of shit seriously when you make those jokes.
That was awesome. Do you think he should have like an autograph book for all the famous people he meets, and then proceeds to have their soul ripped apart?
Yeah. Pretty much. Now I've got Punch a Nazi in my head. I like the song. Don't get me wrong.
I just rhyme there. That's the Gemma rap.
Yeah, I like the song. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, it's
You
better
could
than
write
it's
for,
better than Mr. Black Pasta's fucking Creepy Leaks diss.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, it's fucking terrible. Right, hang on.
Be a bit more specific. Everything involving CREEPYPASTA is terrible, apart from us.
Hold on. My goyim. I've got to find this. It's just pure fucking cringe.
What isn't pure fucking cringe from the internet?
Hi, kids. Do you guys like hot dogs? Oh, good. Me too.
Right, it's gonna be good, isn't it?
Do you guys like slime? Yeah, so do I. Let's make a slime dog.
You wanna die yet?
I want to die.
I want to turn off the phone. You know what I mean?
Wait. I hate this like sing rapping style as well.
If you're trying to get vexed, you can come and get wrecked by the best fuck silence. Y'all know I'm all about timing. I'm late to a party that's starting to get violent. Believing in these
That's as far as I can go.
You should see
But
his face.
it's a diss on Creepy Leaks and on Slime Beast and all that. It's fucking terrible. It's awful.
What that reminded me was the hip, the hop, the hip to the hip to the hip. Don't stop. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
all.
but
That's
Rap is
all.
Delight is a classic song.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of him trying to do.
It just reminded me of Average White Boy, or whatever that song, Average Homeboy. I mean, not for no reason, it's just, it was terrible, and that's a terrible rap. Punch your nose in.
Slime Beast doesn't need to respond and he's already won. Yeah, but of course he almost certainly has responded.
He does have a sensitive little bottom. I'm saying he gets butt hurt super easily.
Well,
how we said we liked his story. And
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you know, he's a guy who'll respond when someone slags him off.
I'll flag him off. I don't care if he responds to me. I won't pay attention. I don't pay attention to positive things said about me by people on the internet.
Fucking punches Sadiq. Have you guys heard about the Sadiq Khan balloon now? Well, it's really funny. Of like, oh, the Trump balloon is a commitment to is part of our English commitment to free speech, and then like Sadiq Khan's also like, oh, let's make sure that people get prosecuted for tweets. All right.
Yeah, it's complete nonsense.
Who's this person just like spamming computer mice in the chat?
Does it mean? I don't know. What does it try? Does it mean something?
Can you attack that statue?
No.
The answer is yes,
Oh yes, you can. Oh well.
because it stood out.
Yeah.
Do you even game, Gemma?
I do. I've not played this in a while.
Are you taking over Toby in the bad at computer games?
I'm good at computer games.
You're the new Toby.
No.
Where we make fun of Toby for being bad at